Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Color K Glam, and I am here today to give you a quick movie review. Okay, so y'all, I seen that everybody was reviewing Black Panther, and I was a little hesitant on going to see Black Panther only because I just want to start out by saying that I am a Marvel fan. I love all the superhero movies. I am obsessed with the Avengers. Hulk is my favorite. This is not up for debate. And on the last Civil War movie, I think that's when, Iron Man was going against Superman. That's when we were introduced to, of course, Black Panther and Black Panther's father being assassinated while he was making a speech in front of all those countries. Because if you didn't know, Black Panther's father was king of their country, and so he was one of the national leaders and representatives of the country, which is now what we know in Black Panther as Wakanda. So, I just want to give a few moments in the movies that stuck out to me. I can't give you a rundown of the movie because it was a 2.5-hour movie. And if you aren't familiar with superhero movies tend to be long. I think that Black Panther may have been, the original Black Panther may have been a setup for a Black Panther 2. I'm not sure, or if it will be a continuation to the next Avengers movie, because that's when they will be reconvening for, I think the other half of the Civil War series, or whatever, when they come back together to beat all the people in the different universes for the new Avenger movie that is coming out. I want to be allowed to feel half and half on this movie. I know that Black Panther was a huge movie for the Black community because there was an all-Black cast, and the movie took place in the homeland of Africa, in the nation of Wakanda. And just to give you a little backstory on Wakanda is a African nation in the movie Black Panther, and because Black Panther's father was assassinated, he was chosen as king of Wakanda, and Wakanda was seen to be a third world country, but in all actuality, Wakanda was very rich, and they had a very what's the word I'm looking for? They were very rich, and they were a very well-to-do country. They were able to sustain themselves as an environment, and they were holders of the precious metal of vibranium, which was a very, very, very precious metal that they had stored, and they had it hidden in the hills of their country, and only the people or the inhabitants of Wakanda were knowledgeable of this. Other countries around the world saw Wakanda as a third world country, and they thought they were poor, when in actuality they were living better than most countries, and they were self-sustaining, which is great in terms of putting Africa out there, even though Wakanda isn't a real nation, putting Africa out there to show that not all African nations are third world countries. Some of the African nations in the continent of Africa are they have a very lucrative business as far as some of the raw materials, such as the minerals and of course, gold and diamonds, and other raw minerals that are found in on the continent of Africa. That was good in showing that African nations have a bad rep when it comes to, they just show the poor parts. They don't really show the nice, rich, elegant parts of African nations. As far as Michael B. Jordan's character, I felt like to an extent he had a very how can I say it? His role was very synonymous to how I think younger Black people feel today, in terms of knowing only certain parts of African history and knowing your roots. I did not like his character. He did play a good villain, but I did not like his character. He was very irritating. He wasn't ignorant, but he he let his reasons for taking over Wakanda and coming in and trying to destroy the kingdom, he should have used his reason. He should have, oh God, I don't know how to explain it, y'all. Basically what happened was his father was he was a part of the nation of Wakanda, and he ended up being a traitor, and so Black Panther's father ended up killing him, you know, and he ended up, you know, killing his own blood, and then left the baby and didn't take the baby back to the African nation. So that it was a whole big to do about his father hiding a truth. I know a few parts in this movie definitely reminded me of Lion King. I don't know if anybody caught that, but when that whole scene when Black Panther was deemed king and they put him in the soil, the sand, and they covered him up so he could go and visit his father and the ancestors, and there were 3 Black Panthers sitting in a tree. That made me think of that scene in Lion King when Rafiki, I think Rafiki was talking to Simba. I think Rafiki was talking to Simba, and Simba wanted to speak to his father. And you know, his father, Mufasa, had been trampled by the wildebeest. And it just brought back, you know, it was very nostalgic for me, you know, when Simba went and spoke to Mufasa, and Mufasa appeared in the clouds, and you know, he just was there to give Simba some guidance. And you know, his dad was there to give him some guidance in the movie as far as being reigning king, and let him know that everything would be okay. But he did not also know that his father had not told the truth as to why Killmonger was coming back very revengeful and trying to take over the kingdom. I thought it was very stupid that if he came and he was very knowledgeable in Killmonger, I'm talking about, I think it was very stupid for Killmonger to come in and take over as king and burn up all the little vibranium flowers if he knew how powerful vibranium was. And vibranium was very resourceful in healing, and as well as powering their environment and everything like that. I thought that was dumb. Back to what I was saying before I got interrupted. What was I saying? I just felt like I was slightly disappointed in the movie because, well, this is my cons. I was disappointed in the Black Panther movie because I felt like the plot could have been a little bit stronger. I felt like for the amount of time that I sat there in my seat, when I felt like, you know how when you're watching a movie, you feel like the movie's about to be over. I looked down at my clock, and I started watching the movie at 4 o'clock, and by the time 5:41 came, I looked, and you know, the movie's 2.5 hours, so that was already an hour and 40 minutes. I was like, bro, another 45 minutes, this movie's gonna be over. And I just feel like nothing has happened yet. That had me on edge. I feel like the plot could have been a little bit stronger, but another reason why the plot may not have been stronger is because there may be a part 2. You know, I don't know if y'all do this. Well, I know the superhero fans might do this, but when I watch a superhero movie in the credits run, I always wait till the credits end because they always show a little preview of the next movie where the movie is about to take place off. So I don't know if that was that'll be for Black Panther 2 or if that'll be for Avengers. But there was a little scene at the end of the movie. So if you haven't watched the credits and you went to the movies, you need to sit through the movie, through the credits, and watch the little preview. But one thing that I was there for was that all-woman army. That girl, first of all the women were bald-headed, and that was just very empowering in itself, is because, you know, regardless of whether they had hair or not on there, they still slayed naturally. And I was here for a girl that looked like Viola Davis, the head warrior with the spear. She was killing it with that spear. That girl was, and the vibranium, y'all, when little sister was driving, like I was saying, when little sister was driving that car virtually, that was like fire. That had flames written all over it. She was so smart. She was so witty, yet she had a sense of humor. She wasn't your typical nerd. She was very much into the IT and her inventions. When she made that suit that, y'all, I went to school for science, so I'm a little science nerd. But when she made that suit that could intake kinetic energy, I just thought that was so neat because, you know, that's energy that something puts off, and the suit is collecting it and storing it. That way it can make the suit more powerful. I thought that was so neat. As far as the weaknesses of vibranium, when both Killmonger and Black Panther were inside the little train, I don't know if it was a train, but where the subway was, or at least I thought it was a subway, vibranium is at its weakest point, and so the suits were inactive. And so I thought that that fight scene was a little powerful because, you know, that's when they were stripped down. It was a fair fight. I was here for Killmonger outsmarting, was it Claw? The dude with the claw. No, it was Claw. I was here for him outsmarting Claw and killing him because Claw was irritating. Claw was irritating in Avengers. I was not here for the death of Zuri. I feel like if Killmonger, I thought it was powerful that Zuri stepped in to take Black Panther's. Zuri took the fall for Black Panther because initially Black Panther's father killed Killmonger's father because he was trying to kill Zuri. And I feel like they should have saved Zuri. Shoot, all that other saving they was doing and putting people in the dirt, they should have put Zuri right in the dirt and brought him back to life because he was wrongfully murdered. I thought people thought that it was very powerful, the ending of what Killmonger said before he took the spear out his chest after he watched the sunset. But I thought, you know, he wasn't in bondage, he was at home. So maybe I missed the point, but I feel like if you finally got to a place where, you know, you got to Wakanda, you wanted to see it, you wanted to meet your family, and you fought Black Panther, and the issue, you know, the issue had taken its course, I feel like some forgiveness should have been had, and they should have took him right to the dirt and healed him too, and they all could have been one big happy family. But I know for the sake of the movie, you know, they had to have, you know, some things happen. One other Lion King-esque thing that reminded me of Lion King that gave me a little nostalgia vibe was when Jabari, the head dude from the Jabari tribe, came to fight Black Panther in the beginning of the movie. When he was on the edge that, when Black Panther had him on the edge of that waterfall, all I could think about was Simba debating on whether he was gonna drop Scar or pull Scar back up. That didn't remind y'all of that. That reminded me of that. I thought that was real Lion King-esque. That was real nostalgia for me, y'all, because I am like the biggest Lion King fan, and I don't care what nobody say. If you grew up in the era when Lion King came out, you are not over the death of Mufasa. I am not over the death of Mufasa. Mufasa forever. Yes, and even on Lion Guard, for all my parents who watch this review and their children watch Lion Guard, you knew Mufasa makes his little debuts every now and then when Kayan talks to the ancestors. But I also thought it was very I just knew Black Panther won't dead when he pushed him off that thing. I just knew, I was waiting for it. But of course it wouldn't be the Black Panther movie if Black Panther died. But I thought it was powerful that regardless of the head of Jabari tribe, even though he lost the ritual fight, that his fishermen still honored Black Panther as king, and they went and fished his body out, and they brought him up, and they kept him on ice to keep his body living. I thought that was really powerful. And Another thing, I know I keep saying another thing, y'all, but it's just a whole lot of pieces that stuck out to me. I said I wasn't here for the plotline. I was not here for Zuri dying. I felt like they could have saved Killmonger, and the family could have been happy. I wasn't there for them three things, but I was here for the head. I was here for Lupita checking head boss lady with the spear. I was here for Lupita. Lupita told her, "I save my nation. I fight for the right thing. I don't fight just because, loyalty." She said her loyalty lies with the nation, even regardless if Killmonger was king or not. I felt like she was wrong for that. I was there for head woman with the spear, Viola Davis twin. I was here for her checking the dude from Get Out and told him to drop his little boomerang thing. I was here for that because she let them know. She let them know, drop it right now. I'm not playing. What was the other thing? I had one more thing. Y'all can't tell me when, this is not what I was thinking, but y'all can't tell me when Black Panther had Killmonger on that rock looking at that sunset, that didn't remind you of when Mufasa used to take Simba to the top of the rock to look over the Pride Lands. That didn't remind y'all the sun. It was either the sun come up or the sunset, but I know in Lion King it was a sunrise. I think he was looking at the sunset, but either way, that was very Lion King-esque. I told y'all I'm obsessed with Lion King, even though this movie is about Black Panther. What other thing stuck out to me? Oh, I can't forget to talk about the white man. I don't remember his name, but even I felt like that scene when they healed him from that wound, that bullet wound. Oh, that happened in another movie. If y'all remember what movie that was, drop down below when something happened and they took the body and put the person under, and that happened in another Marvel movie. I just don't know what movie that was. That really happened. I'm gonna remember. I'm pretty sure after this video. I like how even though he was for the United States, he still was an ally. He was very helpful to the when the war was waged against all the Wakandians, when all the Wakandians was going to get each other. I was here for him flying that plane and taking instructions. Them beads that little sis made, and they just, appeared off the wrist. I was here for all of that technology stuff. I don't know, I'm a little nerdish when it comes to stuff like that. I thought that was mad neat. She was very hilarious when he kicked that suit and it bounced back and then he fell. That was hilarious. Another thing that I'm half and half on, and this is the last thing I'm going to talk about from Black Panther. People were upset that the Wakandians kept the advancements of vibranium a secret. And I'm half and half on that. The only reason why I was half and half on that is because Wakandians they stayed in their own lane, and I can appreciate them staying in their own lane. I feel like they knew that if other people got a hold of vibranium, they could use it for evil, and the Wakandians were only using it for good. They wasn't using it for weapons. They were only using it for the advancement of their country. So I was there for that. In terms of sharing the knowledge of vibranium to the rest of the world, even though I feel like vibranium could help advance other societies, I feel like that will open up the door for other societies to study and learn new things about vibranium that the Wakandians didn't know and then use it for evil. That's the only reason why I went there for that. Other than that, Black Panther was a good movie. I feel like it wasn't enough action because I was here for the superhero movie. I'm here for superhero movies and the battles that take place because that's what makes you feel empowered. It helps me feel empowered. I did walk out the movie with my chest out a little bit because I felt like, I felt empowered. But I feel like that out of out of, I feel like that for every superhero movie, but I definitely could say I felt a little bit more because all the cast looked like me. What else? I was not here for Black Panther losing all them times. I feel like he got his butt handed to him in that movie mad times before he finally won and was victorious. But I guess y'all, the race ain't given to the swift but those that endure, and he endured to the end. So he was victorious. And one last thing, was y'all here or was y'all not there for Angela Bassett and her queen? She slayed the mother queen role. I was here for all of it. But yeah, y'all, don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, and I will be back with more videos. Thanks and deuces.